Oh, I guess we are live. Or
Yes.
something like it as we get ready to jump off here on another Saturday night live, Saturday night special, Saturday night live,
Yeah.
midnight special. No, it's not that late. It might
Saturday night live stream.
be. It might be midnight somewhere.
Yeah.
But what are
Hey,
you gonna
K
do?
Munin. And we got Stone Sour. And we got Nerd. Hey, Nerd.
Yeah.
And David, did you go to the toy show today? I know you're supposed to. You said you were going today.
Yeah.
We didn't go. We
Yeah.
talked about it, and at the last minute, we kind of pulled out.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, so it's kind of a.
Yeah.
It was kind of a stretch at the moment.
Yeah, but did you go? And if you did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Johnny Carson. Who would you say? You said something about Johnny Carson?
I don't know. Did I?
Yeah.
I might have inadvertently quoted him there. Munin says Hasbro being sued by investors for misrepresenting the production numbers of their toy lines and the demand for them.
Oh my God.
Hadn't heard that.
No, but wow.
Hadn't heard that. It doesn't surprise me.
Hey, Retro Style Toys. How are you? Thank you all for joining us and hanging out with us on this day. Hope your week was a very uneventful week as always.
Pastor Rick is there.
We got Pastor Rick. He is here, and we say howdy to you.
Stone Sour says midnight in Central Europe. There you go. See? Broken clock.
Yeah.
And all that. If you do happen to go to the retro, stop by and say hello to Spidey's booth. Spidey's out there.
And
Martin's out there from
there.
Retroville. And I think
he didn't go.
I want to say Sasquatch is out there. I'm not sure.
He usually
I'm not 100% sure.
I didn't go. I didn't.
He's in Florida.
Go next year. I'm in my house in Florida. Yeah, because I know you said you were moving. Yes. And we got Hill.
Who's got Cocoa Puffs and chocolate milk.
Ready to go.
He's
hey, Hill.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Sunny would be the mascot for Cocoa Puffs. Oh, Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
People will get that one easy. I was going to say that might be a good trivia if you name the mascot and then you have to name the cereal.
And then everybody will sit there like this real quick.
Yeah.
And cheat.
Because you can't do anything with the advent of internet.
I know it. Frank and Frog says, Jossum.
Yep. Tonight is the night we watch Street Shots.
That's fantastic.
Actually, last night we started watching Phantom 2040.
Which is right around the corner.
It's pretty good. It came out in the 90s.
Yeah. It's got really wonky animation because it's the same animators that did Aeon Flux for MTV. So it's weird looking.
But it has a true storyline and it's a continuous story. And it gives you the background of the Phantom. So they just launched a new Phantom. The boy's dad, which was, of course, the Phantom prior, is missing. Nobody knows where he's at. I guess the family think he's dead, but they don't know. So I guess they kind of accept that he's dead, but they really don't know. And now the son has just become the Phantom.
Yeah.
And they got their little people that they're villains. And we watched 2 episodes so far, and it seems like it's pretty good. So we're gonna be watching that. I found out about it today. A few YouTubers have already made videos. Okay.
Of course.
Yeah. Hey, Robert.
Robert Online has joined us as
and
well as
we got Raccoon Eyes. Always great to see all of you.
Or Private Eyes. They're watching you.
No, we haven't watched Death Note. We were going to start last night. And the version we have is the Japanese with English subtitles.
And she doesn't like
that. I
do
not read subtitles. That ain't happening. So
lazy.
If I can find it, I'll look again because sometimes you will find it and it'll have both, like the Japanese with English subtitles or just dubbed in English. And I didn't notice that when I saved it.
Yeah.
So we'll look again. But yeah, we tried. We tried to watch it last night, but that ain't happening.
And Eddie's Physical Media has joined us.
Hey, Eddie.
As well as
and we got Patrick.
Peluso.
Patrick is in the building. But
in the building.
I know
Elvis has left the building.
Man, they're having an Elvis festival.
That's right, in Georgia.
St. Simon Island, Georgia. St. Simon Island is actually where we got married. David did not remember. But
I don't remember the name of the place. Oh, give me a break.
Anyway,
I remember everything else.
But we're gonna just leave that part alone. But they're having an Elvis festival in St. Simon Island coming up. Oh, and they showed like pictures of the people that's gonna be Elvis, and they're gonna have like concerts and stuff, and it sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Professional Elvis impersonators. But tickets are like $300.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
per person.
Whoops.
And it's like what, 4 or 5 days, 3-4 days, or something. I don't remember. Like that. It's a couple of days.
It's like 7. The ticket pass is for like 7 consecutive concerts.
Yeah, they're gonna have like a bunch of concerts over some days. I'm like, man, that sounds like it's gonna be so much fun. Supposedly, one of the reasons for the lawsuit is all the money the investors have lost due to Hasbro. Wow.
It says K Munin there. And McNichol, did you hear about NECA's big issue with Ninja Turtles Sewer Layer? They sent out a second copy by mistake to certain individuals. They're asking them to send them back, and the collector said no.
I wouldn't.
Hey, at least they're not strong arming them like Hasbro did.
Was it? No, it was.
Was it Hasbro?
I don't know who it was. Somebody with the Pokemon, not the Pokemon cards, with those Magic the Gathering cards.
Yeah, and they sent out the Pinkertons, and they threatened the guy, and they confiscated his cards because they shipped the wrong case to him.
But they shipped it out too early.
Yeah, well, whatever they did, they did it wrong. But they sent basically mercenaries to the guy's house. We did a video on it when it happened, because that's what the Pinkertons are now. They're international detectives that you can hire to.
Strong arm.
Yeah, basically throw their weight around.
On Death Note, isn't there a cartoon in the? I don't know about
there is
a live.
Okay, there is a live action. The live action is not that great.
Well, we were trying to watch the animated version,
and they got Willem Dafoe to do the voice of the demon too.
NECA wants you to send their.
No, Frank and Frog, that will never happen. Robert, isn't that RetroCon? Yes.
Yeah, it is.
It's going on right now. We just not able to really do it.
Yeah, it's too expensive for a fake Elvis.
Says Eddie. Hey, they got to get paid. Those sequins costumes are expensive. Unit says NECA made the mistake. Why should collectors have to pay to ship them back?
Yeah. Why should you have to pay? Why should you have to pay? Ship it back. Period.
Stone Sour said NECA threatened to charge the card again if they don't return the layer, and they'll be banned from ever shopping on NECA's site. Wow. That's a kick in the pants.
Hey, Edwin, how are you? That's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, if they charge your card again, you can always block that.
Yeah, you can because they threaten you. You can go ahead and call your bank and stop payment on any future payment on NECA.
Yeah.
Look and see whatever name they use when they draft a card.
You just won't be able to shop there.
Yeah. So what? You go someplace else.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you too. Did you guys who a white jazz album vinyl, maybe Miles Davis, something jazz? Well, I know we got some jazz and we got some Miles Davis. I'm not into jazz and at all, and I'm collecting up all my jazz to give away to a guy that asked for them. I don't listen to jazz, and I do have a bunch. I'm not into jazz.
Don't know if we have that.
I don't know if I have that one. I do know I have some Miles Davis, and other jazz people, and I'm going through now. I'm picking them all out. We made a deal, and he can get however many he wants, long as it's not here.
McNichol says, get a free 500 sewer layer from NECA. That must be nice. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's too expensive.
That's okay. I think we kind of got it figured out. But I don't know, but again, like I said, I do know I have some Miles Davis. I know I got a lot of jazz, and I can't stand jazz. I hate jazz.
Blue Splash says, shows you how some of these companies are pretty evil. Well,
Well,
that's
you know,
business is business.
you know what makes that so I guess slapping your face. I guess slapping your face would be good. People have been complaining in NECA for years about their quality control issues, about all of the problems, and NECA say, ha 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 ha, deal with it. And now they made a mistake and they want you to pay for their mistake. And people are like, screw you. Because when people complain, what did they say? Screw you.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't doing nothing. You want the toy, you buy it. Take it as is. We selling it as is. If they were good to the customers and people came the first time and complained and they say, you know what, we are so sorry. We made a mistake. We got QC issues. We're gonna fix it. Um, and if you send us your name and address by this date, we'll send you a new figure. Something.
Yeah.
Show some loyalty to your customers. When they made that mistake, the people would send that stuff back. But they told the people, screw you. So
That
that's what the people telling them.
that's where the infamous so-called Wonder Bread He-Man came from. Eventually.
Mm-hmm. Because they were not loyal to the customers or to the fans, whatever you want to call it. They were not loyal. They told them, screw you. You're going to get what we give you. And that's all we got to say about it. So now the people are like, you think you're going to get this back? Try it.
Yeah.
And I hope they all shut their card off, block NECA from taking that money back. Because that's a mess. They shouldn't treat people that way.
No.
NECA figures are having a hard time selling recently. It's stunt like charging people twice and banning them might come back to bite them. Yeah.
Said Munin.
Um K Munin, I went to Burlington because you said they had a lot of figures. I was shocked. They actually had the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by Playmates for $10. And I'm like, how in the world is 2012 figures still at Burlington?
Yeah.
And I remember I bought those figures some years back when we were still in Illinois. I paid like $25 for those figures then.
But they also, I wasn't there. She was there. She
Yeah.
sent me some pictures, and it looks like Goodwill in there. It is
It's
the
worse
store
than
is
Goodwill.
trashed.
It is. Oh, the toy section is not huge, but
They just pour out boxes on tables.
Yeah, because I mean they got paid, and the stuff is like doing a balancing act, and it's just awful the way this stuff is not just the toy section. The whole store is a wreck, except for the Christmas area because I guess they're just putting that
done.
out, so it hasn't had time to get destroyed yet.
Yeah, it looks like Burlington's on its way out.
Yeah, and
It's a
then the
mess.
Burlington in our area, they're in a big old store. It looks like it used to be like a Kmart or a Lowe's or something like that. It was a big. They got it literally cut in half. Cause when you walk in, you see like the a little partition wall up, and it doesn't go all the way to the ceiling. Then you go down, you can see like the rest of the store, and it goes way back. So they literally got it cut in half, and I mean, clothes are like thrown across the rack. Stuff is literally on the ground. The racks are full. It's just like awful. And like I said, I went to the toy section. They didn't have a lot of stuff. They had a lot of baby stuff, but I did see those Ninja Turtles, and they were from 2012, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah. Robert wants to know how the kitties. How's the cat with no teeth?
That's
Hobo. He's fine. They're all doing pretty good. They, because we had that big to do a couple of weeks ago where we had to come out, or I had to find somebody. It's not easy to find resources for them
Mm-hmm.
to come out and I had to trap them all. We talked about it a little bit before, and I put them all in. I did all the trapping. I caught everybody and had them fixed and got them their shots, which I hate doing it, but it's kind of a necessary evil. And you got to keep an eye on them for a little while afterwards because they could get infections. They might have an allergic reaction or something like that to any medications or whatever. But everybody looks like they're doing pretty good.
Yeah,
they look like they're doing pretty good. Yeah, they're eating good. They're healthy. They're happy. That's all I can ask for.
Yeah, Robert, you're probably right. People wouldn't give it back, but at least people would be a little more understanding, I think. I mean, yeah, you're right. People wouldn't give it back, but they probably would be a little nicer about it. I'm just a caveman. Go ahead. What,
David? It says, why not open up the McDonald's playset and set it up? Let's see the figures the way they're supposed to be displayed, not in the box. If you're planning to sell it, I understand. I'm not planning to sell it, but I choose not to open it. I don't want to. Fumbling is here. Glad you could make it. Fumbling through the galaxy. It's meant to be enjoyed however you want to enjoy it, Caveman, and I enjoy it the way it is. That's just how it is. Munin says the Burlington stores around me are quite organized, except the women's section that looks like Baghdad. And Blue Splash, it says, last year I went to Burlington during the holidays. The toy section in the back was a disaster. Toys laying on the floor everywhere, even in the aisle, of course.
Yeah, that's how it is at the one down the street from us.
Yeah, it looked like a thrift store. It was just trashed.
The whole store looks like a thrift store. I mean, the whole store is trashed, and it's like, man, what is up with this? I haven't been to Burlington in years. That's just not a place I go to. But I went because K-Munin said that it was. I forgot what toy you said was there, but I said I'll just go look and see.
Oh, here we go.
What?
There.
Oh yeah, the picture.
There it is.
Yeah, that's the toy section at Burlington.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, look at that. It's just trashed.
Yeah,
they just put out
stuff on the floor.
They just put out tables and just poured the stuff out. Yeah. Basically, it's all over the place.
It's crazy. But I always forget his name for some reason.
Poor old Hobo. That's why I call him Hobo, because of the poor guy. My poor buddy.
But he's a sweet cat, though.
He really is. He is, for somebody who was so scary and feral acting at first and sick. He was so sick.
Yeah.
He has turned out to be like a huge, big baby. And then the kittens like him better than their mother. Because
what a mama mean?
The feral mama who had those 5 kittens, and even when she was nursing, she'd come around and nurse them, and they'd have to come out of Hobo's habitat because they're snuggled up with him because he's got I've got the habitats on the porch for him if they need it, and he sleeps in one, and they're all in there all piled up with him, and they'd come out to feed. And it's like, okay, I guess they just decided to adopt a more affectionate parent. And he's laying there grooming them, and he's got his arms over them and stuff. And it's like, okay, Hobo.
Yeah, Burlington has a toy section, and I was wondering about
Burlington,
that.
Ross, a lot of those places, and they get a lot of clearance stuff apparently.
But I was wondering about that when I was there with these stores. Are they in that much of a need that they got to resort to selling clearance toys to get people in there? Because it like he said, it's not just Burlington, it's Ross, it's Marshalls, it's TJ Maxx. I mean, I know you got a lot of places that sell toys, and you got a lot of toys, but these are almost like a department store. They specialize in clothing for adults and kids. They usually have like a little home goods section. You can buy some pots and pans and some candles and lotions and stuff like that. But now all of them just about sell toys, and it's like baby toys. It got some, kind of toys that adults would buy, because you see a lot of people doing hunt videos at Ross and Marshalls and stuff like that, and
sometimes they find stuff.
Yeah, the ones around us, they don't have nothing.
They just
I don't know what's up with the stores around us, but they don't do all that.
Oh, it's them hunters. They got there early.
I guess.
Munin says that's bad. NECA turtles I saw with a quarter scale for under half price.
Oh yeah, that's what you were saying. They were the quarter scale ones.
Mhm.
No, these are the ones from 2012, and I have
See.
that set. And they had a lot of turtles um and other stuff, a lot of pops and stuff like that.
That's Hobo with some of the kittens there, because they all hang around each other.
I know.
And Stone Sour made a kitty donation
Thank you,
to the
Stone
channel.
Sour.
Thank you,
We
Stone
truly
Sour.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
we
Buy
do.
cat food and
We need
litter.
all the help we can get. And then here we go again. This pretty much sums it up right there. Knock the plant pot over, and they're all piled up on top of each other, and you can actually see. I don't know how well you can see that because it gets weird. There you go. See how this one is all like curled up? It looks like they had a party and they're all passed out. And Hobo's holding that one kitten. He's got his paws around him. Yeah, he's great with them.
Thank you, Pastor Rick.
Yeah,
We
Pastor
truly
Rick made a
appreciate
donation
it.
to the channel for the kiddie pool. Thank you so much. Well,
Yeah.
we're still juggling 18. And I don't know that, after they clip their ears, I don't know if I can get any of them adopted, but that's okay as long as I can take care of them.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and prayerfully we don't get any more.
'Cause
We got
sometimes-
Mama fixed up. She was the main culprit.
Yeah.
Got her fixed up. So maybe we can start banging off. But anyway, back to nostalgia. I put up some
Yes.
new videos, and I'm gonna be putting up some the next
That's on
few
the
days.
Lady Pop Hunter
yes,
channel.
on Lady Pop Hunter channel, some
Mhm.
new cartoons. For Thanksgiving and Christmas. I got a couple of more to put up, but I put up some today, and one is going up tomorrow. It's already set to go up. And then I got a couple of more that I'm gonna put up. So be on the lookout for that. Be on
And
the
on
lookout.
this channel, of course, for the time being, I do have the BC Thanksgiving special from the late 70s with the original commercials put in.
Yeah.
And I've got the Thanksgiving commercial thing. It's like an hour's worth of vintage 80s Thanksgiving commercials. It's pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And those are on the channel. Robert says, I thought the only place to get toys was Walmart or Target. Yeah, oh, yeah. Look around.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah. Ross, Burlington,
Mhm.
TJ Maxx,
Macy's,
Marshalls, all of
and
those
Macy's
places.
brags of having Toys R Us now, because the
Yeah.
quote Toys R Us section, which is basically just a statue of Jeffrey and tables full of garbage like you just saw.
Oh.
That's what you're going to find at Marshall's, but they do have toys.
Oh, okay. Now they did have like 2 McFarlane stuff. I don't know if I saw NECA. They had Funko and a lot of other brands. Like I said, they had the Playmates Turtles. That really stuck out to me because it was from 2012. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, hey, that looked like that Ninja Turtle set that I have. And I picked it up and I looked at the date. And sure enough, it was a set from 2012. I'm like, man, they must have had that in a box way in the back. Thank you again.
Oh, yeah.
You
Stone
want to
Sour.
give Hobo a couple of dollars for
Stone Sour made another Hobo donation. He said, we
who's
love
that?
Hobo.
Mickey
Stapler.
Hey, Mickey, how
What
are
do
you?
you think? Oh, just
Yeah,
asked
we
us,
just talked
what do
about
you
that.
think of NECA threatening customers they'll charge if you don't send back the free diorama? Hey, block that charge.
Yeah, I mean, if you know it, and you can go now and call your bank and say, hey, I want to block off future.
Or change the number on the card. I need to change my card. And
Yeah.
they'll reissue you a new one.
Yeah. I'll just block it and call them and say, hey, if block all payments to this company, and they will.
Yeah.
They'll block it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's right. And Munin says they saw the Thanksgiving commercials earlier. Make sure to leave a like. Thank you. Yeah, it's just fun. It's nostalgic, and it's sad that we're at a day and age that we're reminiscent of vintage commercials of all things. But they were better. They were better than what we're getting now.
I doubt it if we'll have a live stream on Thanksgiving because we're supposed to have family coming over on Thanksgiving. And I already feel the stress of that.
Yeah.
Christmas we can't speak of. That's too far away.
Yeah.
So we won't talk about Christmas, one day at a time here.
Yeah.
But Thanksgiving is almost a definite no. That won't be happening. Not on Thanksgiving.
Blue Splash said, "Have you seen Baby laughs a lot at a toy show? A doll, you touch her stomach, and she rocks." I don't think so.
I don't
I,
think
I
I heard of
rarely
that.
see dolls at the shows, but I mean, most of those vintage dolls, their values have tanked. Like
Mm.
any of the Ideal Shirley Temple stuff that used to get big money, Velvet Family,
Mm-hmm.
or it's Chrissy Family, Chrissy and Velvet, or who was it? Chatty Cathy, where you put the records in her back, used to get crazy money. Some of them still get good money if they're in decent shape, but it's really bottomed out,
Mm.
quite frankly. Munit says Burlingtons are going all in on Sonic the Hedgehog due to the movie coming in December.
Oh, they got another
A
movie
third
coming
one, a
out?
third one. Mickey Stapler says, "I just got here. I agree 100%." That's hey, no
Yeah, oh, it's
problem.
no problem.
Yeah.
But we did talk about it, but that is crazy. I mean,
Mhm.
how you gonna threaten people that way? That's just bullying.
Yeah, well,
It's just, I don't
because
know.
it's all about the bottom dollar for these people. They don't care.
So
Uh,
where the snowman? Oh yeah, the boy is a snowman and he just melts
Melts
away.
and the Hershey Kisses Bell commercial. That's a classic.
But they brought that back with those men in the like the speedos and they were shaking their butts.
Oh, that's awful.
Hey, Gavin.
He's all the way from Australia. Gavin is watching from Australia. Glad you could make it.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, we'll
In the
see.
chat.
We will see what happens
Yeah,
on
if
Thanksgiving.
everybody leave
Oh,
in
they will leave.
at a decent time.
I will see to it that they leave.
If they leave at a decent time and we're not too worn out.
You know what you do? You act like in the you never saw the first one, the Batman movie.
I saw the 89 Batman.
No, not the 89, the other one. You saw the one with Heath Ledger Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And then you saw Bane,
Yeah.
but that was 2 and 3.
Okay.
In the first one with Ra's al Ghul,
oh no, I did not see
he wanted to get everybody out of the house, so he pretended to be an angry drunk and started insulting people and told them, get the hell out of here.
Oh, when he was in the penthouse? I did see that.
No.
Okay.
No.
I didn't see it.
Actually, when he was in the penthouse, he snuck off.
Oh.
He didn't do that. He did that in the first movie with Ra's al Ghul and ran everybody out. I could always pull that one, but no one will believe it because I don't drink.
No.
Mickey Staple says, "I love watching you guys. It's a breath of fresh air." Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you, Mickey. We appreciate it.
Sure, we do. But yeah, we don't. I can't say I'm really looking forward to the holiday at all.
Oh, don't be.
No, because it's like some of it kind of fell in our lap, but it's okay. Anyways, Burlington Coat Factory and all of those places, you can look for modern action figures, and as she pointed out, some of them might be a little older, like those 2012 Ninja Turtles that she stumbled across.
But, I think that was an accident. They had a box in the back room.
Well, they just put that stuff away and bring it back out the next year.
Yeah, I know. That one got put away a lot of times. But I still wonder about those stores. I mean, they put it out, I'm guessing, because they figure they're going to get a different clientele.
I mean, or last minute shopping, or people go in there to buy whatever over the holiday, and they remember little cousin Jimmy, and they go and they buy something they think they might like.
But they sell toys all year long, people.
Yeah, but not like this. I mean, they bring out the extra stuff. You know what we were talking about today that's really interesting, and I was reminded because of Blue Splash's comment there. They said they saw the old Burger King commercial with the Native American Indian holding the burger in his hand, and it looked like a real beef burger. But we were talking about Burger King earlier today, and that's because you know how like Burger King and McDonald's used to have the coupon books. Oh, Renard is here.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed the cartoons. I put up a Thanksgiving one earlier. It's another one I put up like an hour ago or so. So it's up.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But they used to have the coupon books. Even Dunkin' Donuts used to do it. They
Everybody
also
had that coupon book,
and you'd buy it for like $5 or whatever, and then inside would be coupons for free food.
Yeah.
So and you could give it away They did it on Halloween and they did it on Christmas because you could give away tickets instead of candy. So here's a ticket for a free cheeseburger. Here's a ticket for a free Coke, whatever. And then they did the holiday one. And I was thinking, when we were kids, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
If somebody gave me a coupon book with 10 free meal tickets for Burger King or McDonald's, I'd flip out. Or Dunkin' Donuts, because there was a Dunkin' Donuts near us. I'd be like, oh, wow, that's fantastic. You give a kid something like that nowadays they'll spit in your eye.
Well, now they would give a gift card.
Even
the gift card,
I suppose,
is like the book.
Yeah, but I mean, would a young person even be satisfied with a $10 McDonald's gift card? Or are they going to be like, yo, like, what's your deal, boomer? And Nick says Ollie's has a lot of Star Wars and Motu Origins. Yes, they do. They're overloaded with that stuff.
Ollie's got a lot of nice candles, and so do Ross and Burlington and all of those places. I like going there to buy candles.
You know who doesn't have nice candles?
Who?
Walmart. You know why? Because whenever you light one, the glass explodes.
That is true, because I buy a lot of candles, and
we won't buy them from Walmart anymore.
No more. But if you go to Ross, because I usually go to Ross because it's like right there. And then when I went to Burlington, I found, man, they got a lot of candles and they got a lot of good ones. And they're nice and heavy and the glass feel thick. I'm like, I'm going to come back here and get some when I need some. But yeah, the one at Walmart, I had it on top of the fireplace mantle and all of the wax just dripped. I'm like, oh, what a mess. So I thought, well, maybe I set it down too hard. Maybe it was cracked. So, of course, I had to do it again. And it cracked. So I'm like, won't do that again. Won't buy candles from Walmart again.
Yeah. Robert says how many are coming to dinner, and he would probably just have a pizza party. Oh, you would pull a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving on your relatives. I don't know how many people are coming.
I don't know.
Munin says they haven't found any toys from 2012. All modern pop range from the store exclusive to con exclusives and by the caseload. And here is John.
Hey, John.
He says, good evening. Sorry I'm late. Got back from a horrible antique store. How can you price something for a certain price and then raise it 600% when you try to buy it? Oh, wow.
Hey, John.
Johnny Future is here. Just got back from the comic store.
Oh, I hope you got a lot of nice stuff. Put pictures up on Facebook so I can see it.
And Mickle says, Grandma used to buy the booklets for a free meal. I felt like a boss when I went to use them with my parents. Yeah, because we went through that when we were kids.
Yeah.
And for us, that was fantastic. And just thinking about that, because nowadays, even like you said, you gave a kid a $10 or $20 gift card for McDonald's or whatever. They'd be like, hey, man, like, what's your deal, boomer? Because, everybody's a boomer if they're over like 25 now, apparently. It used to be just people who were born around World War II. Robert says he saw a video of Kardashian having her own AI robot. Would you ever want a robot of your own?
AI, what does that mean?
Oh, I don't know. One of those, how they're starting to make those robots like Tesla and everything. So I guess she has one. I don't know. It would help with the transition. Okay. They would warn us when not to go out during the transition. Who knows where that's from? Fumbling Through the Galaxy. Have you all seen the Mythic Legion's making of documentary? No. Have not seen that.
But now the prices of it going to go up.
And Austin Bird has joined us. Wants to know how the day is. He says NECA's situation with them threatening customers is messed up. Yeah, that's all the rave right now.
Yeah, everybody's we were talking about that earlier.
And Blue Splash went to Hobby Lobby in Kentucky a couple of weeks ago. They were loaded with Christmas decorations.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, of course, Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
And Fumbling still thinks the Dragon will be 500. I looked on their website and I couldn't find anything, so I must be doing something wrong. Johnny says he only buys candles in the glass jar with the rubber sealed lid. Never blow out the candle because it stinks up the house.
Yeah, I never blow mine out.
Put the lid on tight. It burns out inside without smoking up.
Yeah, but at Walmart, they sell the glass candles and the thing still buzz. I don't know what was up. I guess we just got some defective ones or something. I don't know, but I'm not buying them more. Hey, Gamer.
Gamer says, would love to know how you guys just find toys. We don't just find them; we look for them, but we
Yeah,
don't.
you gotta search.
We don't look for anything specific, and we talked about that a few times, and we call it target of opportunity. When we go to the conventions, because we do go to a lot of different toy shows, and we film and we put it up on the thing. When you're not specifically looking for something, you notice almost everything.
Yeah.
And so we see almost everything that's out there, and then we get a good gauge on, okay, here's what so and so has, here's how much it is, here's what I think it should go for, and you can take it from there. And we find a lot of like spectacular deals, because otherwise there's no way we could do this. We're not
millionaires.
Yeah, we're not millionaires.
We're not even thousandaires.
Yeah, I know. We're not Mr. Pennybags from the Monopoly game. So
hey, Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse say what is here. So yeah, we call it the target of opportunity, because when we did go to look, we go with your list. I've got my list.
That's how I started.
And we go, and you never find anything on it, and then you miss everything else.
Yeah.
And I find stuff, and it's like, how much do you want for this? Are you serious? I find the most amazing deals even at shows from dealers. Sometimes I don't talk about prices too much, because I try not to go down that road very often, but we do find some amazing deals. Johnny says, buy the candles with the rubber sealed lids. The glass jars are thick and tough.
Yeah. I'm gonna buy mine from Ross and Burlington.
Robert says AI robots like owning your own Terminator. I doubt that they have the strength or capacity.
It's just little household, like butlers that vacuum or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen them. I mean, they really don't have any strength. So I mean, and it has to be that way, because if they were stronger than people, then that would be a whole different ball game. Bunin says, how can kids appreciate a gift? Most can't read or do math at grade level. And it goes deeper than that.
Yeah.
Blue Splash, have you guys been digging into any more 90s cartoons and toy lines? Anything on the list?
We've been looking at.
And let me just say real quick, Reston is here.
Hey, Reston.
As well as Legends has made it today.
Yeah, like we said earlier.
I know one that she was looking for was it's Captain Simeon and the Space Monkeys.
Oh yeah,
is one that she's interested in, because the figures aren't expensive.
No, but boy, I sure did forget about that.
Yeah.
I was looking for that because I watched the cartoon. The cartoon was fine. I liked it.
It's adult oriented because it's a goofy 90s cartoon. One season, you'll recognize the voices, the actors. You know who they are when you hear their voices, and then there's a lot of sci-fi references going all the way back to like the Twilight Zone. And so when you hear them say certain things, or you see a certain character, you're like, hey, that's supposed to be so-and-so, or hey, I know what movie that phrase came from. They do a lot of that. There's a lot of that kind of fan service.
The one thing I realized watching these old shows, especially ones that I never seen before, cartoons that is, I start liking them, and then I want this, then I want the toy, so I start looking for the toy. But yeah, I totally forgot about Captain Simeon. Now you done brought that up.
Oh,
so now I
here
remember
it goes.
again, because I just completely forgot about that. But I did look around on eBay for it for a little while, and then for some odd reason, I never made a move on it. Yeah, and forgot. And but I was working on Space Ghost Coast to Coast, and I'm finished with that. So I got all of that. Now I'm working on the 2002 Care Bears, and that line is pretty expensive.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah, it's big. It's not too expensive. I said expensive. I meant extensive.
Yes,
because it's a big line.
It adds up in piece count.
Yeah. So I said I'll buy like one a piece a month, just because it's so much. So that's what I'm working on, and then now David remind me of Simeon. So.
And Munin says the philosophy of targets of opportunity has really helped me grow my collection and find great stuff for insanely cheap prices. Well, happy to help.
Hey, Nick.
And Nick is here. He says wants to know what people's 2025 collecting goals are. And she said she just named a couple of them. For myself, I mean, I've got the same Grail pieces I've been looking for forever. It's just hard for me because of how I collect. But I still need one more piece for the Kenner Scouts, which is the Jeep set, and of course, it would have to be mint in the box. I'm not too concerned about mail order pieces because I know there's 3 or 4 mail order pieces. I'm not that worried about that. But the Mark Safari, I still need the tower. I still need the Jeep and the truck to finish that. In humanoids, I'm still missing a carded liquidator and the decompose. Those are very expensive. So that's a problem, especially in the condition mine are in, because all of my figures are mint unpunched cards. So if I would have to find a liquidator mint on an unpunched card, and a liquidator on the card hasn't even come up for sale this year on eBay.
See, it's stuff like that
I know
limits you.
Yeah, I know it gets hard.
You limit yourself when you talk about unpunched card and all of that. I'll buy it with that bubble separated and just glue it back. As long as you tell me the bubble is separated. But I mean, the bubble is not you tore the bubble off.
Yeah.
But it's just separated and everything is still intact. I'll get it if you say so.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that ain't bad. I can just glue that back together. But David, it has to be unpunched. It has to be flawless. I'm like,
it depends because the line already started that way. If I had pieces that were some of them were a little rough, I can live with it. Like the Kenner Steve Scout stuff. I finally found the Avalanche on Blizzard Ridge in the box. Box is a little rough, but it's mint in the box, and I can live with that. If every piece was perfect, I couldn't do it because it's got to be uniform. It's got to all match.
Not me.
Or I have a fit.
As long as it's in that box.
And I would love
box closed.
I would love to get some more of the Shogun Warriors, the deluxe ones. I love those. Gamer says he's a huge G.I. Joe, He-Man, and Star Wars and Star Trek. He's into that. It's hard to find good quality toys. It can be.
Yeah, it can. It depends on how you collect. Are you an in the box collector or out of the box collector? That's big on how you collect. And then you have to surf eBay. I find a lot of auctions that people sleep on. I mean, I have found some stuff like brand spanking new, and I've bid on it, and I've been the only one to bid on it, or people don't come back because it had closed at noon. People at work, it closes at 7:00 in the morning. People are asleep, and I look for those type of things. And you go to shows, and one thing now, I am good at this. I don't know how I became good at it, but if I see something, I guess I don't know that I do it. I guess I study it. I know the shape, I know the colors, I know the lettering. If I go someplace and I can see a corner, I'll know exactly what it is. And I'm like, let me see that marks over there. And they're like, where? Over here by this. And they're like, how did you see that?
That's how
but you got to learn what things look like. I guess just seeing it a lot. You just kind of learn it.
That's how I ended up with that Maskatron, because that was on the bottom of a pile. The dude didn't even know he had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. When you go to shows, look under the table, because a lot of times things are under the table and the seller doesn't even know it's under the table. I go to flea markets, I look under the table. And I'm like, hey, can I get those records? What records are you talking about? That box you got down there covered up. We're like, oh, I didn't even know that was down there. See, you go to you go to comic show, anywhere. Oh man, I didn't even realize that was down there. You gotta look. Sometimes you got to get on the floor. I'll get on that floor and sit down right in the middle of the aisle and go through things. Then people don't want to be bothered with stuff that's on the floor. So I mean, you got to kind of throw all of that pride away and just sit on the floor, go through things, and look and learn what things look like that you really like, so you can kind of pick it out. You look at stuff and take your time and just see. And don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
I see things on eBay. I'll put in a low ball offer. They don't like it. They send me something back or say no.
Johnny says he's cut back on buying single issue comics. He only buys collected editions or facsimils.
I haven't bought a comic in a long time. I ain't gonna lie. Not that I don't care, but I just haven't. Hey, I never seen that name. Like to know your
Denzine? Denzine?
NECA's Donatello's Lab.
Oh yeah, that's been getting kicked around a lot today. Yeah, I mean they've been spitting in customers' eyes for years, telling them, oh no, suck it on quality control. People have had issues with NECAs, with paint, with bad joints, with all sorts of problems. They've never made an effort to lift a finger. They don't listen to their customers. Now they want their customers' help, and the customers said no, so now they're threatening them. And it's like, that's not going to work either, because all you got to do is stop your bank account or stop your credit card. You call them and say, hey, don't allow such and such charge. NECA's not going to get their money.
No.
And so they throw them out of being able to buy from the NECA store again. So what? It'll turn up at Ollie's.
Yeah, it'll turn up somewhere.
John says, don't go to an antique store located next to someone's flower shop. Flowerists make the worst antique bargain business owners. Okay. Robert says you should go to their house. What?
Those house sales.
Find a house that has a lot of pop cultural memorabilia. That's not always so easy.
Yeah. Hey, Phil.
Phil is here. Mickle says, he's talking to someone else.
Okay.
And Munin says, in 2025, looking forward to the SH Figure Arts Shoto Tokadorki.
Okay.
And
he didn't finish his thought.
Live streams always remind him of something.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say what it was. Johnny, answering the question from last week, One Day at a Time has 9 seasons. I don't remember. I remember watching it when I was a kid, but I don't really remember it that well. Mickle's been watching Batman animated with his son.
I like the Cape Crusaders on, I think it's on Prime, Amazon Prime. I actually like that show.
I wouldn't watch that with a little kid, though.
But, Batman Cape Crusader.
Yeah, it's a little aggressive.
Yeah, it's a little more violent. But I like it. I like the take that they gave, that they put on the villains.
Yeah.
They gave them a whole new look, and I like that.
And we're currently rewatching the 66 Batman, which is a blast. That show is hilarious.
David's going to dive deep into the Tick from the 90s.
That's still affordable. Very affordable toy line.
We actually saw some last weekend at the sidewalk sale. Somebody had a couple. Few.
Yeah.
We've actually seen that a lot at shows.
Yeah.
You'll see it.
They're out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've seen it. I want that big talking Tick figure. Oh yeah, I've seen that.
There's one talking one, and then the rest of them are like 12 scale.
I've seen that. Saw a video of a guy going through a house that had a lot of 80s and 90s pop culture items, and had so many comics.
Says Robert.
That's nice.
That's rare though. And What says live streams remind me of Columbo. I've been watching Columbo when I discovered the channel. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And Johnny says season 4 of One Day at a Time story writing is going downhill already.
Oh man.
Well, sometimes things outlive their usefulness and they stay on the air longer than they should. Mickle says Mr. Freeze episode is so dang good. We'll watch the Justice League, and it's actually a really well-written show, surprisingly.
I don't think I've seen the Justice. Yeah, we did. We saw the Justice League. We did. I just remembered.
Munin wants to know how the whale's coming along. Saw the video. Obviously I'm not going to be able to complete it. We'll see. Again, it was dirt cheap. He practically gave them away because he didn't want to be bothered with them.
Hey Avid, thank you for being a new subscriber.
Yeah, Avid is joining us here.
We really appreciate it. Thank you.
So I'll do the best I can with it. I'm not expecting a whole heck of a lot, but it beats paying $350 for one complete.
Oh, boy.
But we'll see. We'll see. Usually that's not the best way to go unless I come across one that's complete for a really cheap price. Like I lucked up with the Terror Drome back there. I got that surprisingly inexpensive, and it is complete and unbroken. And that's typically the best way to go with that kind of stuff. Piecing things out will cost you a fortune. Robert wants to know if you see the
Return
Return of
of
Captain
Captain
Kirk,
Kirk.
great mini film of Kirk Spock meeting one final time. Haven't seen that.
No, not haven't even heard of it.
And
How many pops are still in your collection? I got all mine.
Captain Ramus
I got
wants
like
to know.
What, like 800?
Probably. Yeah, she didn't sell any.
No, I don't
So,
get rid of
yeah,
nothing.
she
I don't
doesn't.
get rid of my stuff.
Yeah, she doesn't.
Mm-mm. If I don't like it, I just put it in a box and put it away.
Munin
But I
says
don't.
vintage Shoguns are hard to come by, even if you regularly search for them. You can find them, but they're usually beat to hell.
And
That's
they're
the thing.
incomplete. Every time we see them at the shows, they're incomplete.
They're missing everything, and the stickers are all ripped off, and so somebody loved them real hard. But yeah, it's tough to find them all in one piece. And again, buying individual pieces, it'll cost you more than buying a complete one. Robert wants to know what pieces I'm missing. It looks like you had all the pieces. No, the sled's missing the canopy, the little bottom door that the sled comes out of. I have it, but it's broken. What else? I don't have cutter. I don't have the canopy that goes on the top part, the little plastic window. Mine, the tabs are broken. You can put it on there, but it won't stay. Off the top of my head, there's a couple of things. Yeah, I know it's not complete though. Johnny says I might have 9 action figures on the card, and 8 of those are unpunched. The 9th one giving him the jerky shoulder twitching. Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes you have to. Like I went through that with the Karate Commandos over here, because I've got the Kenner Chuck Norris Karate Commandos. They're all mint on unpunched cards except for that red ninja. That red ninja, as you can see, he is punched, and he even has he's a little, there's a little bit of warping on the card, but the red ninja is the toughest figure to find. It's really hard to get that one, so I kind of sucked it up for that one. But I don't like to do that if I don't have to.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta ask, especially on eBay. Just ask.
It says rest in there.
Yeah, and then the way you really get by on eBay is if the person has more than one item that you're interested in. Send them a message and say, hey, I would like this item and that item. Would you do both for this price to include shipping? See what they say. All I can say is no. Then you say, well, what can you do? I mean, that's all. I mean, that's all. It's actually pronounced
Denze Zenze.
Well, that sounds like an anime.
Denze Zenze. Did I do that right? I don't know. I'm trying. I'm trying.
Yeah.
Blue Splash says not selling much of their stuff either, except maybe Hot Toys that I have left. Other than that, everything else is staying with me.
Yeah.
They just sell them before they dissolve. Those things fall. They fall apart. Their clothing and accessories fall apart. Mickle says, don't you love it when you're closing shop to go home and some random customer comes strolling in like he owns the place? I've had that happen. I've had that happen. when I used to work in like stores in the or especially even after you've locked up, registers shut down. That's happened to me when I used to work at convenience stores in Boston, and somebody's banging on the door. Hey man, I want to get a pack of cigarettes. And like, you see the lights are off, man. Yeah. What do you want?
Why? Oh, okay. Your collecting goal is Reynard is the 1950s and 60s Dell comic giant.
Not bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dell's underrated, and they've got some fantastic photo covers. Some of them. The Dell did a lot of photo covers.
Yeah, they did. I have a couple of not the giants, because those are just too big.
Or just really exceptional art, like the was it Dell that did
the illustrated
the Mars not Mars Attacks, the Mars military team?
I'm not sure.
And it's like oil paintings on the covers.
Whoever did the illustrated ones,
Classics Illustrated, that was the brand though.
Oh, okay, that
is
the
Classics
brand.
Illustrated.
Yeah, they had some good covers on theirs.
Yeah, Robert says you should do a video on Shogun Warriors on each character. I think most know Mazinga. but I don't think you. I
Don't.
don't think they know the others. I did one. I did one on Mazinga because I did a clinic on it, showing how to tell them apart. Because there's a bunch of varieties of Mazinga, um, and going all the way back to the Popey. There's two Japanese versions, and then you got three American versions, a European and a Canadian version, and they're all different. There are physical differences with each of them, and I often have been at shows and seen they've got accessories switched, or they got the wrong rockets or something like that, and even the dealers often don't know. And how do you tell it? Like, you got Dragon right there. There's three American versions of Dragon. How do you know which one you got? And does he have the right parts? A lot of people have no clue. So yeah, I did the clinic on the three Mazingas, because I had at least three to show. And I can tell you, okay, that if you had the Canadian one, it would have white missiles. It would look exactly like number two, but the missiles would be white with red fins. If it's the Popey, the 76 Popey, it's going to look exactly like the first American version, except it will not be stamped made in Japan. Things like that most people wouldn't even recognize.
That's too deep.
It's a big deal, because if you had a Mazinga that the first one, that it turns out to be the Popey instead of the American, and the only way to tell is that it doesn't say made in Japan, you just increased its value 5 times. It's a big deal. Johnny says he recently bought a collection from a seller, listed his stuff for $405, had no make an offer available. I emailed $350, he countered $370, and I stuck to $350, and he sold it anyway.
Yeah, see, because they want to just get rid of stuff.
And Blue Splash wants the Remco baby laugh a lot from the 70s, and maybe he'll find it at a show. You could.
Yeah, you got to just look.
You got to go to a much larger show like the Kane County in Illinois, which has a designated doll section, for example. Johnny says if sellers have no make an offer, still email them. You might get it.
Yeah. Because some of them, and you know what I'll do with some stuff that I'm like looking at, but I'm like, I don't know. You just put it in your watch list and see how long it sits in that watch list. And I literally have I have like 3 things in my watch list that's honestly been there for over a year.
Yeah.
And nobody has bid on it, and they're not moving on the price.
And if you contact them, they're like, no, sorry.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, shoot, I forgot all about that. Well, yeah, sure. Here, take it. Because it's been there. They had it for over a year. It's been in my watch list for a year.
What's his name? Justice Curry says that, because he's like, some of you know who Justice Curry is. He sells a lot on Facebook. That he'll just keep marking something down until it's gone, because you just can't sit on it forever. And he's right, because that space is often worth more than the product, unless it's something it's insanely valuable. And just take the hit and get rid of it and move on. And I get it. Robert says Shogun Warriors had a comic. Marvel Comics. But I'm wondering if anyone knows the other characters. They probably don't know any of the characters unless they were part of the Force 5 cartoon, because the Force 5 is where a lot of these were showcased in the United States. Retro style, what do you think of the new Bandai Mazinger or Jumbo Shogun style? Yeah, we showed it on a roundup a couple of weeks back. I like it. It's just a basic, it's literally a reproduction of the first version of the Mattel Shogun Warrior. For Mazinger, and I'm like, or Mazinga, depending upon your pronunciation, but it's it's not that much by comparison. It's cheaper than if Super 7 did it. I think it was $230 or something like that, $230. It's not bad. I'm not going to get it, but it's a decent alternative. Otherwise, and they are planning on doing other ones.
Well, that's good. I mean, I can see getting, like, right now I am getting the Loyal Subjects Rainbow Bright, because the original Rainbow Bright, the 14-inch ones, they go for over $200 a piece.
Yeah.
Amazon got them on sale on Black Friday for $14.
Yeah.
You know, like I can see getting stuff like if they had Brave Star, because I know those Brave Stars are expensive.
Yeah.
They're over $200 a piece. I
Yeah,
can
and
see
that's
getting those if they
Brave
if they
Star.
reissue it. But then you got other stuff that are not that expensive. Like well, I was about to say Star Wars, but some of them Star Wars get very expensive. The originals
Yeah,
get very
there are certain
expensive.
pieces
Certain
that,
pieces.
and I've talked about it before, like they reissued Skeleton Warriors, and the reissues cost more than the originals.
Right. Okay,
'cause
that's
you
a
can buy
good
them
one.
dirt cheap.
Yeah, that's a good one. Those.
In contrast, the Mattel reissue of the Street Sharks isn't a bad bargain at $25 a pop
Yeah.
because the originals are hundreds in the box.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, if it's going to cost a fortune, and you're like, well, what the hell, I may as well. But there are reissues that come out that cost more than the original,
Mhm.
and it doesn't make any sense to me when that happens.
Yeah.
Like, what was it?
You had a couple of them on your. These things are cheaper. The original is cheaper, and we've talked about the modern
Ronin Warriors. It was Ronin
Warriors
Warriors from Playmates. The original Ronin Warriors cost less than the modern ones that are being made. Considerably less, like by almost $100 a figure.
Wow. Okay, Mickey,
Mickle's gonna take off,
but he'll be right back.
He's
on his way home
after these messages.
Many shows tend to outlive their original fan base due to the terrible writing, directing, and too many time or day changes. MASH was at its best the first 3 seasons, for instance.
Which is why Babylon 5 is only 5 seasons, because the writer insisted. That's why he named it that way, in order to remind even himself, I'm not going past 5 seasons, even though they tried to push him to make another season, he wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to stop, and you'll end up ruining a show when you've gone too far, and then you lose your fan base. We saw it happen to Walking Dead. People got tired of it.
Yeah,
they just people just got tired of it. Avid says he hasn't done eBay for years due to restricted budget, planning to dip a toe in for 70s, 80s, and 90s toys. Underrated robotics. I remember robotics.
Milton Brand.
Yeah, robotics was you create them, you control them. Who puts the future in your hands? Robotics. Blue Splash says, thanks for telling me about the Kane County show. Yeah, or the Great Ohio Toy Show.
I want to go there one year. Hey, David, how are you?
That's not David.
Oh, no, that's Chance.
That's Chance.
I saw Nostalgic, and that was it. I'm sorry, Chance.
Chance, of course, a Nostalgic Pod Blast. And if you would like to see the Space Giants, he has the Space Giants on his channel. He has the whole series he's putting up on the channel. And we've had actually several of our viewers have said they've been going over there to watch that. They've been fascinated by it.
Y'all don't just go over there to watch.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the channel.
Yeah.
Give them some thumbs up and leave some comments. I ordered the great what? I think that's my Mazinger.
Yeah, it's,
I took a chance.
Well, jumbo Machinder is what they call these because of the size.
The size, okay.
Yeah, it might turn out to be good.
Okay,
where are we with Dallas? Says Nostalgic. Oh God.
Okay, so
little
random
girl.
Jamie is in town. Nobody believes that she's Jason's daughter. I don't, and I think Elvis' wife figured it out that she not a part of the family.
Up. Yeah.
Lucy, of course, is a waitress. What's his name? Cliff has a little girlfriend that he's using to flirt with potential businessmen. So they're doing that. Pam has a little boyfriend that Bobby pushed into the pool.
Well, he thinks he's her boyfriend.
Yeah.
She didn't act like she liked him very much. He was stupid anyway.
Hey, Brian, how are you?
Brian has joined us.
And we got Paul.
Paul is here.
Why do toys get blue face? Oh, David know all about that. Those
It's
ones like the, but you don't
yeah,
have anybody that blue.
mine are in really good shape actually, or not blue face, but more like a
Gray.
gray face, like you see up
That
there on that
zombie.
top row. You see a lot of that with Migo,
Oh,
with the Migo, and those are 12 and a half inches actually. They're not 12 inches; they're a little bigger, like the Buck Rogers and Black Hole, and you see a lot of that with the Moonraker, Roger Moore Moonraker.
mm-hmm.
Um, that they get that zombie face, they call it. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
It's from interaction with sunlight, but fortunately mine are nice and clean. But yeah, interaction with sunlight will cause that on with certain types of plastic with vintage action figures. It's sticky too. It's like a
Mm.
sticky film. It's really weird. But William Randall has joined
Hey,
us.
William, he's watching MASH right now. I remember MASH fondly.
Yeah.
I remember it being funny. I remember it fine. I think that's something I can try watching again.
Mm-hmm.
Because we watched it growing up, and I remember I could follow it. And I actually, that's one of the few shows where I actually remember the characters. Of course, I don't remember the episodes, but I remember the characters and like what they did and things like that. And a lot of shows that I grew up watching, it's like I don't remember. I remember the faces, but not the characters, and I don't know what they did. But on MASH, I don't know. It just kind of stuck with me a little more, especially when they had like the intense surgery scenes. Like you had a wounded soldier come in, and I remember one episode, Alan Alda, he was operating on the guy, and they thought he was gonna die. And he wanted to give him more salt, and it was like, no, if you give him more salt, he's gonna die. He was like, no, I know it. If I give him salt, he's gonna recover, and he did. And it's like things like that. And that show, for some reason, I can remember more of it than other shows. I guess it had a different impact.
And we saw the tent
The
in Topeka at the
Oh
VA. There's
yeah.
a
Oh, that was so
the
sad.
VA has a museum,
Mm-hmm.
a war museum there,
Yeah.
big one in
Yeah.
Topeka. It's huge, and there's a lot of military vehicles on the grounds and everything.
Yeah. It was so sad.
And in there, because the curator came out and gave us a personal tour, we were the only ones in the museum,
And
he was so excited. But they in the middle of it, they have a complete bivouac that's an exact replica
yeah.
of their main tent
Yeah.
that they lived in.
But the thing that made that, I've been to a lot of those kind of war museum type thing, but that one was sad because one, I think it was two guys. They were the only two guys. Nobody comes and visit. They were so excited we came. The guy took us on a tour. He was just so happy and excited. And it was like, man, and they did a lot of work. When you went through there, you could tell these people put their heart and soul into this.
Yeah.
Putting up these dioramas and stuff like that. And he told you about all of the stuff that was in there. And you knew that it meant something to them, and nobody appreciated it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to come and look at it. And I remember that when I was in the military, I was at Fort Bragg, and they had just built the 82nd Museum, and nobody went. And they made all the soldiers. When I say made, they made all the soldiers. Well, I know at least the 82nd soldiers go. And we went during a work day. We had to put on our civilian clothes, and they bust us down there. And we had to tour the museum. It was just that one time we toured the museum. I know I never went back. I think they ended up closing the museum, and it was a big one. I mean, it was nice. They had like a little movie theater where they showed you like war movies, and they gave you some history of stuff, and they had stuff all the way from like World War I and II and stuff like that. And those are really sad to look at because people don't want to see that kind of stuff. They don't. I mean,
they
it's
don't
not
care.
like
People don't care about history.
no, but I mean, it seemed like regular museums people go to, but when you talk about like war museums, it's no love, and they're usually free. They don't even want anything, maybe a little donation, give them $2-3 or
and they're
something
important.
Like that. Yeah, but
they're important. Yeah,
the amount of work, because is not funded by the state or the city or something. And it's usually two old guys in there, and they're the curators. They put everything up, and they know everything about the museum, and it's just sad to see. Speaking of bad
Says
shows,
Johnny.
great video of those overrated. If you
Yeah, I
haven't
don't know
seen
if
any of
anybody
those,
saw that. We put that up this week. Top 10
okay, we've
most
read that.
overrated TV
Yeah,
shows. It could easily be a top 100, but we stuck with
yeah,
10 and ended up with, I think, 13.
yeah,
Munin
yeah,
says Walking Dead went on for too long.
yes.
Robert stopped watching it after they were hunting for Beth.
Oh yeah, you stopped a long time. I at least watched it up until Rick left.
John says his daughter alerted him to a garage sale notice listing certain items, one of which was a huge collection of original Mego toy figures from the 70s.
Ooh, that's nice.
That means they know what they're worth, and you're
Yeah.
not going to get as far as you think. Johnny
We
wants
still
to
in
know
back season one,
I believe. Yeah,
Mhm.
but
We
we
just-
only watch like the 2 a week
Yeah.
because they're 2-parters.
I think people stopped watching after Glenn. Yeah. I stuck in there until Rick was taken away, and then I kind of dropped off.
Robert says Zombie Buck Rogers always freaks him out. And 70s meets the 80s.
Hey,
He says, do you have the J.R. Ewing alcohol decanter?
no,
We do not have that.
now that's one figure I would like in the 6 scale. J.R. Ewing, at least J.R. Ewing. I would like him in a 1/6 scale figure. I don't know if they ever did that. Paul wants to know how you fix that. The zombie face.
There is a I forget what it's called, but you can look it up. There is a peroxide solution that's kind of like a gel. It's the same stuff that they use for fixing green ear on Barbie. So look that up, because Barbie, she had real earrings, and sometimes the metal interacted with the ears, and it makes a green circle where the ear holes are on the old 60s Barbie dolls. And it's like this white contact gel version of peroxide that you put on, and it'll fade that out. And you can do the same thing with those if you're going to handle a figure by hand. Mine are in the box. I don't want to open them, but I don't have mine are fortunately really good, so that they're not discolored. But yeah, that's something. I forget what the stuff is called.
I don't know if Gunsmoke went on too long, but
we haven't gotten that far yet. But it's 20 seasons.
Yeah, but I know they had a lot of made-for-TV movies. They had a lot.
After the fact, they went back to Gunsmoke a couple times
because everybody wanted to kill Marshall Dillon.
And Marshall Dillon looked like he was about 117 years old.
Him and Kitty aged
badly.
Bad. They aged really bad. But I don't know if they went on too long. We're still in the black and white of it. Well, we had to stop because we told you my dad was here and he wore us out. But I'm about ready to look at it again. But we're still in the Chester years. We stopped in the Chester years. We're still in black and white. So, we ain't got that far.
Munin says if we can't find English Death Note, try Tokyo Ghoul. I remember that show.
Kojak went on too
TV
long.
show, says Paul. Kojak had action figures. They only made Kojak and a villain, but then there's also a Sears gift set that came with a little office. Robert hated MASH because Battlestar Galactica lasted 1 season and MASH had 11.
I don't know what that means.
MASH lasted.
Robert.
MASH laid because he wanted Battlestar to go on longer. MASH had lasted longer than the war.
MASH was on CBS.
Yes, it was. Blue Splash said some of the collectors on social media, they have their own 3D shops, assemble and make all these dioramas and sell them. Watch out for 3D printed stuff. It doesn't last. It will fall apart over time.
Wonderful. Oh, it was a wonderful show.
It was a good show. Paul says Kojak.
I never saw Kojak.
Again, it's another show. I remember watching it, but I don't recall it very well because I was too young.
Oh,
Nostalgic.
All in the Family.
Own the ratings in the early 70s. All in the Family number one for 5 years in a row. When Happy Days took over for 1 season.
When my dad was here, I watched All in the Family for the first time ever, and it was funny. And that's something I can watch. I'm not a big fan of sitcoms. But that one was actually pretty funny. Edith, I knew her little game. I knew what she was doing, acting all dumb for Archie's sake. But she wasn't as dumb as she acted.
No.
She wasn't dumb at all.
Simple doesn't mean stupid.
Yeah, she knew what she was doing. Okay, go ahead.
Johnny loves visiting museums. When he goes to Seoul next year, he's going to visit the DMZ and the Korean War Museum. Haven't been to Seoul in 30 years since he was in the Army.
Man, I haven't been to Seoul since, 1999. No, I left in January 2000. So that was, 25 years ago almost.
Stone Sour wants a part 2 of the overrated shows. It wouldn't be that hard. There's several that we could have delved into.
Hey, Tammy, how you doing?
Paul wants to say hello to Tammy. Tammy must be listening somewhere.
Tammy is listening. Tammy
from Ideal?
There was a song, wasn't Tammy?
Tammy was a doll from Ideal.
Oh, yeah.
It might have been a song, but I know Tammy the doll. Blue Splash says he was on the edge of his seat the whole time watching the video of TV shows. I was like, David, please no more beating on the shows. Oh no,
it was fun coming up with that list.
Yeah, and the two that upset the apple cart the most.
Which one?
Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah, nobody know nothing about no Star
Trek.
A
couple of people got upset. You got to be kidding me! And hey, it was not well written, and most of the acting was good, except
Whoopi Goldberg,
LeVar Burton.
People didn't like Kunta Kinte?
No, people loved him, but his acting was so over the top. If you were to listen to dialogue from Reading Rainbow and dialogue from Next Generation, you couldn't tell which was which unless you mentioned a book. Because I'm like this all the time.
Oh,
he acts like he's jacked on coffee through everything.
Oh, wow.
And the other one was Married with Children. People were upset about.
Oh,
Johnny wants underrated shows.
We're actually working on a couple of 10 lists,
a couple of projects.
Songs.
If anybody watches them,
we talking about some songs. We trying to get those together. One that we want to do, but I think it's going to be tough, is like overrated albums and best albums. I'm still going through my albums.
Really subjective.
Well, everything is subjective.
Yeah, I know.
Walking Dead started devastating.
Deviating from the comic after Glenn, and that's when Reston stopped. Yeah, of course. And John says, were you and me at the Hawley Military Museum in Topeka, Kansas, or the National Guard Military Museum on Airport Drive in Topeka? I think it's the National Guard Military Museum. And that it's got the MASH tent in it, playing the music and everything.
That was so
because it's near, because there is a small airport in Topeka. It's more like a, you're not going to land a 747 in there. But
yeah, you ain't landing much of nothing in
Robert
Topeka.
didn't care for Kojak. Blue Splash says they have a big Gundam museum in Japan.
Oh, do they? K-Munin will love that.
And Johnny says he's proud to say he's never seen any Star Trek Next Generation. That's all right.
I'm proud to say I've never seen any Star Trek.
Some people like it, and that's fine. I'm not trying to take that from anybody. I just think it's overrated. Dawn.
Hey, Dawn.
Says Amazon currently has good Black Friday deals on complete series sets of 80 shows, G.I. Joe, Gem, and the Holograms, Filmation, She-Ra. I've been noticing actually that the prices came down on a bunch of old Hanna-Barbera stuff.
They got a lot of good prices on toys, and the prices are still coming down even during the Black Friday. So if y'all into some of the toys, like McFarlane and
now
stuff,
might be the time.
Yeah, now might be the time. I got my eyes on a couple of things. I did get those Rainbow Brights because they were $14 and they're usually $20. So I'm like, during Black Friday, plus you don't pay shipping if you're a Prime member and all of that. All you got to do is pay taxes. So I thought that was good. And I've been looking for them in the stores. I can't find them. So I needed two, and then I'll have all of the current ones.
Just hope they don't put it in a bag.
No, they usually put it in a box, because the two that I have, I bought from Amazon because one of them was an exclusive from one of the cons. It was an Amazon exclusive. And they put it in a box. And then Amazon know I'll send stuff back. They had me banned for a while because everything they sent me that was
didn't work,
had a dent or didn't work, I sent it right back, and I left a ton of bad reviews. And I'm not a person that would leave a bad review, but I got tired of it, and they actually blocked me from leaving reviews. They was like, you ain't leaving no more reviews. And I noticed that after that, they start packing up my stuff a little bit better. I haven't had to return anything to Amazon in the last couple of years. Everything come boxed. It got little pillars in it and all that stuff. I mean, even stuff that don't even need to be all taken care of, like all that. Then David gets stuff. It's in a bag. My stuff is in a box. It's all taken care of. But they get kind of weird, and I was really feeling some kind of way when they told me I couldn't leave messages no more, and they just blocked it, and I would leave bad reviews, and it would get kicked back. You can't leave reviews. And I'm like, oh, what's that about?
Pastor Rick said Kojak with Telly Savalas always had a sucker. Read the reason was because he stopped smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had heard that before too. And 70s says, what do I think of the MASH figures? The ones from TriStar?
You got no, you don't.
No, I don't.
You got a piece of something.
I've got the MASH figures from Durham,
Oh,
which are the 9
knockoff.
inch figures. No, they're not knockoffs. They're actually officially licensed, but they're 9-inch figures from Durham. The ones from TriStar are compatible with G.I. Joe, and I think that's where they were going for, because they're the same size, they're the same jointing and everything. I used to have the complete set. I don't have it anymore, but that's something that I would get again if I could find them all in decent condition. As I had it all, I had everything mint on the card, mint in the box.
Stone Sour said the only show he disagreed with was
Married with Children. That's fine. And Nostalgic says several times Star Trek The Next Generation stole stories, and I Concepts from Space 1999.
You said something like that in the thing.
They did. They took plots from everywhere. They took plots from Doctor Who. They took plots from G.I. Joe the cartoon.
Are you serious?
Yes, they did. I think the most famous one was the one where Riker wakes up and he's still Riker, but it's supposed to be in the future, and he has memory loss. Shipwreck on
Shipwreck didn't have memory loss. He was in a different.
They told him he had memory loss. Remember?
Yeah. That was actually a pretty good.
That was
episode.
One of their best two-parter episode.
Was it 2 part or 5?
It was 2 parts.
Okay.
It was a 2-parter.
That was a real good episode.
There's no place like Springfield.
Yeah.
But they stole stories from all over the place. They stole it from the original Star Trek. From again, Q is Trelane. Everybody knows that. The Borg are the Cybermen from Doctor Who. I mean, it's really obvious. I mean, there's not much original.
Mickey is back.
There he is. He says Kirk is the captain. That's it. There you go.
Gundam Factory has an actual giant moving Gundam as part of its attraction. Okay. Why do you call it Cyber Monday when every day people buy stuff online? It sounds stupid to say.
Well, because they wanted to coin the phrase, and it worked.
Yeah.
Blue Splash, Marvel Legends Galore was on sale on Amazon. I bet that's every year, because they can't give them away at one point. Reston likes the info banner at the bottom of the stream. You can put trivia questions down there.
Yeah, that is a good idea. I never thought about that.
And Paul says Tammy is his wife.
Tammy, the wife of Paul.
There you go. Robert says, didn't they turn Kojak into a black man? Yes, they did. I think they did switch him for a black guy. They did the same thing with the Odd Couple. They made a black version of the Odd Couple and called it the Odd Couple.
I know the guy too. I can't think of his name. Vin Reams, wasn't it Vin Reams that played?
I think so.
Kojak.
I don't even think it lasted out the season. And Abbott says he'd like to get the 80 series DVDs the G.I. Joe, Gem, and She-Ra.
But you better go on Amazon
Now's the
right
time.
now.
Now's the time.
Because Amazon got a lot of stuff on clearance.
That's a side conversation.
Oh, okay.
And Nostalgic said the character Captain Janeway, written for Lindsay Wagner from Bionic Woman, she turned the role down. Okay. John says National Guard Museum did look more like you mentioned, with a few additions or changes, but their family were the only people that had visited there for over 2 months, and that's sad. That is sad.
Those people put a lot of work.
It means a lot to them.
We haven't been there since 2010 or 11 was when me and David were there. So that was a long time ago. So I don't know when you went, but boy, when we went, those guys were like,
they were happy,
thrilled that somebody came to look at that
we were
stuff.
Curious. I mean, it were. And it was a decent setup.
It was a very nice setup. They put a lot of hard work into that, and it's just sad.
Nostalgic doesn't like Kate Mulgrew or Jodie Foster's voice.
You know what show was
Kate Mulgrew,
creepy?
of course, is the woman who played the captain on Star Trek Voyager.
We saw a movie with Jodie Foster as a kid. I don't know, she had to be like 13 years old in this movie.
Yeah, that was pretty controversial at the time, too.
And I think her dad was dead, but she was living in the house by herself. She told everybody that her dad was out working, but I think her daddy was dead.
Or he was sick or old or whatever.
Her daddy wasn't there.
Yeah, he had died.
And some man was coming by, and some little boy,
trying
and
to creep up on her.
Yeah. I cannot think of the name of that movie.
I don't remember. She was nude at one point. It's like, I don't want to see her nude.
Naked.
She's a kid.
She was a kid. I mean, she was like 12, 13 years old in this movie, and she taking her clothes off in front of a little boy. They didn't have sex or nothing, but still. And then you had this older guy, and the guy kind of figured that she was by herself. She was in this house by herself, and he was trying to make moves on her and everything. It just got like really creepy. You know, like, I mean, nothing happened. They didn't show anything, but you knew what was going on. I mean, she didn't get raped or nothing like that, but this dude was creepy. And it's like, man, how do you play a role like that? And then you pull it off.
Acting.
Because yeah, but that's real acting, because you pull it off.
Yeah.
You make people think you're creepy. Nowadays, you can't make a person think you happy or sad.
John says he guarantee if someone opened a museum of the Kardashians, it'd be standing room only. Isn't that sad? And Johnny says, do we want him to bring anything back from Seoul?
Some mink blankets.
Really?
No, I'm just joking. I don't even know what they sell there anymore. I haven't been there since.
I'll let you know, Johnny.
Since 1999 was when I was stationed there for the full year of 99. And all I remember was mink blankets, and we used to go to that main strip and buy cheap knockoff clothes. Nostalgic
says the episode Resistance It's Futile is right from Space 1999. Star Trek The Next Generation even copied plots from George Orwell's books.
Oh my God.
They sure did. Who remembers, if you never read Orwell, who remembers, if you watched Star Trek The Next Generation, the one where Picard was kidnapped and the guy was torturing him, and he kept asking him how many lights did he see?
Oh, that's 1984.
That's 1984. Yeah. How many lights? There are 4 lights.
2 plus 2 is 4.
Yeah, 2 plus 2 is 5. It's 4. That's Orwell's 1984. They blatantly copied stuff, and everybody's like, "Oh wow, that's so intense." It's like, it's not at all original writing. Munin says,
yeah, Baywatch is overrated.
Baywatch, yeah.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. We'll consider that for the next one. Nostalgic likes her acting, just not her voice.
She did a good job in Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, shows. Yeah.
And Mikkel says, for you, jealous of the Space Ghost collection. Don't even know they had figures. I knew they had Mezco. Yeah, Mezco made 2.
Yeah.
They're very expensive. What would you say is a fair price for yours? They're gonna run you like what, $60 to $100 a piece, right?
No.
For the ones you have?
I ain't
How
paid
much?
that.
No, I mean he wants to know what they would cost.
Yeah, if you go on eBay.
That's what he's
Yeah,
asking. He
I
says,
didn't pay
what would you
$100 for
say
that.
is a fair price?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You said $100. I said no.
And I said they run 60 to 100.
No, they don't. They were
How
cheaper
much?
than that. I got them for about between $25 to $50
for the Space Ghost.
Yeah, I ain't paid that much for that. If it was $60 to $100, they'll still be sitting there on eBay.
But that's what they usually go for.
That ain't what I paid.
Is what
for
I'm talking about.
I'm telling you, when I go on eBay, I look. I put in lots. I look for things that are going out on bids. I look and see how many people are bidding on it.
Mm-hmm.
I try to see no bids, one bid. I bid on stuff. I don't pay that. I mean, yeah. Now they have one of them that do go for over $100, and I had found it on bids, and I paid 30, and it was yellow. Then the next week I went to retro toy swap, and a guy had it. I saw it. I'm not lying. It was literally across the parking lot, and I saw it, and I walked over there and I picked it up, and I asked the guy. I looked for the price. It was no price. I asked him how much was it. He said it's $10 fine. I said, yeah, that's perfect. And I gave him the money and I moved on.
Oh Jesus.
But no, I don't know how much they are on eBay. I didn't pay more than $35. The most I paid, now, well, that's a lie. I got two of them because I had found a lot and it was two of them, and I think I had paid like $80. But I didn't pay that much. So you can find it, but you just got to, you got to be diligent. You got to look around. I got some, I think I had even bought some from some shows. Seemed like I was at Joe Lanta, and it seemed like I bought 2 or 3 there. So I don't know, but no, I wouldn't pay all that money. I don't do that. Jodie Foster goes back. Oh yeah, she was on an episode of Kung Fu. She was.
So was Don Johnson.
Yeah,
he was an Indian.
Yeah,
on that show.
Blue Lagoon and Pretty Baby, Brooke Shields naked.
Yeah, it's creepy, because you don't want to see a young person like that. Blue Splash says, if you're creepy, you can get put on blast in social media nowadays.
Yeah, but the things they call creepy nowadays, a lot of it is creepy, but the things that are really creepy, they don't call creepy. So you don't know.
Mickle says they have a few prospects they're looking at, hoping you could help me out with figures on a fair price. I'm broke. Also, there's the one, I forget who made it. It's a standalone Space Ghost, like 12 scale, because it's part of a Hanna-Barbera line. There's no other figures with it. You saw it.
Oh, it's in that green packaging?
Yes. And then there's the...
Mezco got one.
Mezco has 2. They're very expensive.
Yeah, they are. They're over $100 for 12 scale.
And then, who was it? Like...
I have an extra one, but it's yellow.
FTC made Mego scale a Space Ghost and the kids.
Okay.
On the card.
Yeah. I did look at that. I thought about getting it. They kind of.
No, Dawn, it was not Taxi Driver.
No, he was asking, was she in it?
Yeah, she was in it, but this is before Taxi Driver.
Carnal Knowledge. I think that's the name. Chance told us it's Carnal Knowledge. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's really well written.
No doubt. It's a good movie. It's well acted. It's just creepy because one, like I said, she about 12, 13 years old. She's naked. That dude is creepy. She got a little friend. I think the boy is disabled.
He's an actor. He's like practicing to be an actor.
Yeah, but he disabled. I think his leg, something. He
has a limp. He has a limp.
Yeah. But he's her little friend. And they're just friends, but he comes over and keep her company and stuff. And
he knows the real deal.
Yeah, he knows what's going on, but that guy is creepy.
Yeah. Paul wants to know, Starsky and Hutch, did they make toys? Yes, Mego made them.
Mego made everybody.
1974, 5 action figures in a vehicle, if I remember correctly. I have 2 of them.
Oh, it was Martin Sheen. And then of course Robert had to tell you what happened. She poisoned the guy. Yeah, it
you're
was.
killing it,
I
Robert.
know. Thank you, Robert, for ruining it for everybody.
See,
Um,
those are the
yeah, it was
get the
Martin
glare off of
Sheen.
there.
That was who the guy was, and boy, he played that role.
If I can
He
get
was creepy as
the
could
angle
be.
right. See, Migo, Starsky, and Hutch.
Mm-hmm.
And they also made Dobie Chopper, who was just a generic villain, and then Huggy Bear, and they made the car as well, I believe. And tough to find them on the
Okay.
card from Migo.
Johnny's gonna buy some Korean versions of American movies like Back to the Future and Rocky.
Okay.
Oh, he got an Israeli version of Rocky. You you know what that makes me think of? The people that buy records and they buy every pressing
Every
from
possible
every
pressing.
country.
You know what I think is funny is when you listen to dubbing from other countries and they have like a weird high pitched voice, and you know it's just really wrong.
True Romance. I don't think
I don't
so.
know if I've seen that.
I don't think I even heard of that.
Munin says, pathetic as it may sound, we may actually one day have a Kardashian
God.
museum.
Oh,
Hey, I
Jesus.
mean, Beyonce, Yale has the Beyonce study course.
I don't know.
So
I don't even want to go
that
down
wouldn't
that road.
surprise me. Mickle says, thank you. That was helpful. I'll be looking for a price closer to that.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing, and I'm telling you,
She just got really lucky, though.
but see, the thing
yeah.
with me in eBay, because I have found a lot of toys on eBay that are expensive, like that. Like I got the G1 Optimus Prime. I have the original Takara.
Oh God.
Uh,
The G0
Megatron
74 Megatron.
1974. Those things
because you know Takara made those in 74,
right,
almost 8 years before Hasbro brought them here and called it G1.
Right, and those things cost hundreds of, literally, and I'm not exaggerating, they cost hundreds of dollars more than what I paid for. But now I will get on eBay and I will look and I will look and I will look, and I like to find things that are on bids.
Because I mean, the guy had this at the show a few months back. He wanted like what 2,500, $3,000 for this. And
I mean, and to give him some credit, his box was a little bit better. But I mean, this thing goes for hundreds more than what I paid. So when you go on eBay, you know, don't buy right away. Just take your time. Keep
do your research.
Yeah, and if you know it's a set of toys, look for lots.
And the huge difference, brought this up before, unlike Megatron, the traditional Megatron, this is die cast, and it does shoot. That's what that row is right here. You see this row of blue, that's the unpunched tree of pellets that it launches. It's a spring-loaded gun.
And then also look on Macari, see if whatever you're looking for is there. Go on there, but look around, don't jump fast. Look around, see what you can find. Send messages to the people, and then if you see like 4 or 5, look at what else they have, see if they got more of the same thing, and then ask them to bundle it up, and then shoot them a lowball offer. All I can say is no, or they're gonna shoot you back a counter, so you got to work those angles. And then also, I don't know how often you go to shows, but go to shows, wait. Because like sometimes I'll see something like, oh man, this is a good deal, it's on eBay, but then I know a show is coming up next week, so I'm like, nope, I'm gonna wait, go to the show first, see if I see it, and then try to work with that dealer. Because then if you go to the show, you don't pay tax, you don't pay shipping, you don't do all that. So, and then you might can work the dealer and ask him for some stuff and all of that.
Yeah, because they don't want to repack anything.
No. But one thing I've learned, because when I first started, I would buy everything the first time I saw it. I didn't, I didn't know to wait. I didn't know to look around, and I didn't know to send a person a message and ask to for an offer, for a better deal. And then I started looking around. I started looking for things that were on bids, and that's how I got a lot of my bigger, more expensive items. I find them on bids, even some of the cheaper ones. Um, I find it on bids, and look for a bid that's on the middle of the week. I mean, I guess it really don't matter, but sometime it does. A holiday, find a bid that's closing on a holiday, because people will be like Thanksgiving. Ain't nobody looking at a bid on Thanksgiving. I'll look. A lot of people don't. So you got to do those kind of extra steps. Take those extra steps.
Avid recommends The Little Girl Down the Lane and Bugsy Malone from 1976 with Jodie Foster. Kid friendly.
Okay.
And John says, what? I was there in Ulsan and Suwon, South Korea in 87. Got go to a USO show with several of the MASH cast members.
That's nice. Hey, Logic Blaster.
Logic Blaster's here. He says, love the content on the channel. Please keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you, Logic Blaster.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Robert says, Jodie Foster, what? Goes even way further than Kung Fu. She was also on Courtship of Eddie's Father. I remember that show with Bill Bixby.
Oh, okay. Some of the MASH cast was there were Wayne Rogers, Larry Linville, McLean Stevenson, Larry, Loretta Swit, William Christopher, Jamie Farr, and David Ogden. Okay. That's some of the people
Nostalgia said George C. Scott is in Carnal Knowledge.
Oh, was he?
Okay. And Mickle says, have you guys started watching Space Ghost Coast to Coast yet?
No.
And wanted to know what we thought of it. I barely remember it. I've seen a few episodes. I wasn't that into it when it was out.
I haven't seen it since the 90s. For some reason, I just always remember it. And every time I hear Space Ghost, that's what I think of, because that's all I've ever seen. I've never seen the original Space Ghost. All I ever knew was Space Ghost Coast to Coast, because that was on I think Cartoon Network. So I always watched it.
Johnny said that wasn't Brooke Shields. They hired a 25-year-old double to do the nude scenes.
Still.
And Blue Splash says Mego was the Funko Pop back in the day. Yes and no, because some of the stuff they made, it's worth quite a bit now, and some of the stuff that they made doesn't make sense, like Love Boat. It's like, why would you? What kids are going to collect Love Boat? Why would you do the Waltons? You know what I mean? That's not something that kids are. Hey, I really want to get a Grandpa Walton figure. You know what I mean?
What is up with Jodie Foster in all of these creepy movies? Because even in Taxi Driver, she was like a prostitute or something?
Yeah.
She was like 13, 14 years old. And then, like we said, in a Carnal Knowledge, she was nude. And now you're saying in this one, she was nude, and her sister.
And you really saw her just undress, so it wasn't a double.
Yeah, not in that Carnal Knowledge. Not unless they were able to do it in such a way that you can tell, but
Munin wants to know, Beyonce study course, how is that a thing? Look it up. Put in Beyonce and Yale, and you'll find it. They have a Beyonce study course, tying her in with Frederick Douglass somehow, and I'm like, I
don't know how you do that.
That makes no freaking sense.
I don't know how you do that.
Nostalgic says David Hedison's TV's Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea daughter is Jodie Foster's husband.
Oh, okay.
And Mickle says, congratulations, that's a hell of a deal. Talking about the Megatron there, or the Walther Uncle Pistol, they called it. Mickle tries to keep eBay stats at 100% positive. I found I get a lot of deals sent my way because of it, like 25% off, which is crazy, and I always pay immediately.
Me too. I always pay right away.
Yeah, don't stall.
I don't play no games. I pay right away.
And Patrick says the Little Rascals had an old creepy man who would touch them.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either. Johnny said Yale University, one credit course. Beyonce makes history, black, radical, tradition, culture, theory, and politics through music. I think that's the course name.
Oh
It's
my
some big,
God.
wordy, stupid name. Austin
Jesus.
says, do overrated wrestlers. That's kind of hard to tell, because I mean, you listen to these guys talk, they were all the best.
Oh yeah,
Johnny said Chris Benoit was overrated, only known for tragedy.
Well, he was good until he went crazy, but that's all anybody remembers. The nutbag was so obsessed with Joe. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, Robert. He wants to know who was younger, Jodie Foster or Brooke Shields. Well, Jodie Foster is probably older than her.
Yeah.
And John says, you upset my wife, has sizable Walton's collection, including the Mego toy figures. Now she's moving my collection to the crawl space in our roof. Tell her to put it in the doghouse.
Until this live stream, I only ever heard of Jodie Foster. That was some weird. Yeah, Jodie. I
she's been around forever.
Yeah, she's been around a lot, and then she's always acting like way older than she is.
Yeah,
because I remember that was the case in Kung Fu. That was the case in Kung Fu. She was acting like she was older, and I think she was interested in Kwai Chang or something. I don't know. Something weird was going on. It's just weird. All of her stuff is just weird. She's not in Dark Knight.
Nerd says, didn't LJN make a Brooke Shields doll? I think that is correct. There is it's a Jordache doll, right? And Stone Sour thinks Hulk Hogan was overrated. Guy can't wrestle. You got to watch him in New Japan. New Japan,
no.
Even Andre the Giant was flying around in Japan because they won't tolerate that. He didn't have to do that as much in the States, so he didn't. But yeah, he had more of an appearance and more of a mic. He was good on the microphone, and he was good in his appearance. But, you know, still, I mean, you can't take it from him. He's probably the most iconic wrestler historically speaking. He's the one that really pushed things through the 80s.
I think the reason that what also makes him so iconic, people that don't watch wrestling recognize his name. They knew
who he was, yeah.
His name as a wrestler. If you were to talk to somebody who don't watch wrestling and say name a wrestler, Hulk Hogan, I think, would come up.
Yeah, even to this day.
Yeah.
You know, so he's, for as far as being instrumental to the industry, despite whether he seemed clumsy in the ring or not, he's the he's iconic. You know, whether people like him or not. I know that Ultimate Warrior was pretty overrated. They hated him, man. Nobody wanted to work with that guy. Johnny thinks Valerie Bertinelli still looks good for her age.
She was in a bunch of commercials there for a minute. Like a few years back. I can't remember what kind of commercial, but she had did like a series of commercials, and she did look good then a few years back. Where do you think they were before she moved into the bathroom?
Oh, had moved it to our guest room, he says. Reston says Foster was a young hooker and taxi driver, yes.
And Hulkamania, brother.
That's right. Hulkamania runs wild on you. I mean, but that's peak 80s, especially WrestleMania 3 with him with, I think it was 3, right? Where he was with Mr. T. And they fractured that guy. He fractured that guy's skull by accident. Who was interviewing him. That was an accident.
Muni can't remember the last time he saw wrestling
because it's not good anymore.
I'm a Macho Man Randy Savage fan myself.
Cream always rises to the top.
That's right.
Cream always rises to the top.
I love watching his promos.
His promos are hilarious.
I ain't saying nothing.
I'm not talking.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking. Yeah. That was funny. Look that up.
Macho Man, do you have anything to say? I'm not talking.
Yeah, look that up on YouTube. Macho Man, I'm not talking.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. I don't know how they could do all that with a straight
You
face.
get into character, man. You just go with it.
Oh, yeah, that's one guy I think is gone too soon. Oh man.
I used to really like George the Animal Steels too, and he was just a dope on camera, but it was funny. He was funny with his green tongue. The story of how he got the green tongue is hilarious because he had been drinking. He wasn't supposed to be, and he's like throwing him back, and he was like, "Oh hell, I'll have that on my breath." So he drank some like NyQuil or something like that, and said he had a sore throat, and his tongue was green, and it just worked for what he was doing. So he would make his tongue green every time from that point forward.
Chance is surprised that Valerie Bertinelli and Van Halen didn't have a better looking kid. The kid is ugly.
Okay.
Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior. Well, coming from a Doink fan, apparently, because that's a Doink in your thumbnail, isn't it? Munin said that Doink was done really dirty by McMahon. Munin says everything that's come out about wrestling industry, how can people still watch it?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, a lot of stuff allegedly came out about Bill Cosby, and I still love the original Filmation Fat Albert. It's a really well done show. I mean, you got to, take your moments.
Yeah, Nutrisystem. I think that might have been endorsement. Roddy Piper, Andre the Giant, all popular.
Robert says,
yeah.
Piper was another good one.
Tell me your favorite wrestler, David.
He said, "Show me your favorite wrestler." I don't know.
He meant tell me.
Oh, did he? I don't know. I liked Piper. I liked Macho Man. Especially going back and looking at Piper's promos. He was nuts. Piper was absolutely freaking nuts in his promos. Razor Ramon's promos from the WWF days, before he just came out as Scott Hall, are really good too. Those are funny. The one with him, look up Razor Ramon in the restaurant or $1 Million Man.
Yeah,
his promos are hilarious. Throwing the kids out of the Y. They were in a pool. They were in a pool, and he was like, "What's it gonna cost to get these kids out of this pool?" And he was like, "Sir, I can't do that." And he was like, "You sure about that?" It's hilarious.
Booker T was the man I loved. His interaction with Goldust, he would try and make Booker
break character, which happened a lot. Goldust is a bizarre character, though. And Avid said, "Too bad we never had dolls or action figures of gorgeous ladies of wrestling. They were so campy and similar to the 80s.
I remember watching
the Glow Girls. Glow. Yeah. Johnny says Mount Rushmore of wrestlers: Hogan, Andre, Undertaker, and The Rock.
I don't know about The Rock.
That's because nobody likes Dwayne Johnson as a person. That's why.
Yeah.
As a wrestler, he's probably not so bad. I mean, I've
never seen him wrestle. I was out of wrestling then.
But yeah, as a person, people have kind of really gotten sick of Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah. Right, Mikkel. Look at all the stuff that's going on in Hollywood. People still love their celebrities. I personally can't wait to see them get what's
if it happens, because there was already an opportunity, and we know what happened to that guy. Mikkel, anytime. Talking to someone else. Johnny says most iconic Piper moment: Piper and Snooker coconut.
The coconut over the head.
They faked that, but just to show you how serious it was back then. How serious it was. Both of those guys went to their graves insisting that it was real, but it couldn't be. It couldn't have been. And he was like, "How could I know which coconut? Because it would be the hollow one, obviously." And he was like, "You can't saw one. You don't have to. You could crack one and then glue it back together." And he hit him on the headband. That headband was made out of seashells, no blood. And he broke a coconut on his head. And then he chases him to the door. I remember it really well. And he's pounding on the door. Never tries the knob? Come on. I mean, Snuka wasn't that knocked out. They faked it, but they would never admit it because back then you did not ever break character. Nowadays, everybody is just like, oh, it's all bullshit. But back then it meant a lot to never break character.
Yeah, the best time for wrestling was in the
In the 80s,
80s.
says John there. Robert says
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero and Chyna were a thing. Yeah.
She was a thing with Triple H. They were married.
Were they married?
I think so.
I don't know about that.
Well, I know they were together, and then he started messing with Stephanie. Him and Stephanie got together.
Yeah, that's Keys to the Kingdom move right there, and she fell out really bad. I mean, doing the nude shots and
she did all that.
Yeah, she did porno books.
Oh, you talking about Chyna?
Chyna.
Oh,
and
okay,
then,
okay.
And then the addiction problem. She kind of turned into a junkie there.
Yeah, she did.
It got really bad for her.
She did.
That's why she'll never be in the Hall of Fame, most likely. But
I used to love her. I did, because I mean, now they got female wrestlers, but they're more like, I don't know, just like fit girls. She was actually big, and she wasn't about to flip them guys. She did lift up a couple of people, but
yeah,
she was a little more believable.
Yeah, these teeny boppers they got in there now, it's like, give me a break.
Yeah, because they got that girl that's from Ninja Warrior, and she's only like 5 foot tall, and then she's a wrestler. And it's like, you're 5 foot tall, you weigh like 100 pounds.
Mickle says he loves Golden Girls, but he felt some kind of way, but no hard feelings.
Oh,
because it was on our list.
Yeah, different strokes for different folks.
There you go.
Yeah, Golden Girls. I don't know about that one.
Munin, all I know about wrestling is the toys sit on the shelves for years to the point they literally rot off the pegs. That's the original ones sell for a fortune.
Yeah.
But there's too many reissues. Stone Sour, Roddy Piper with the half black white gimmick in WrestleMania 6 was a hoot.
I don't know that one.
In Austin, favorite wrestler is Steve Austin. Yeah. Favorite moment when he and Booker T were fighting in the supermarket. I think I remember that. Yeah. Snuck up on him, and Johnny said, "Savage." Hogan, you got lust in your eyes for Elizabeth. Yeah, right there. Yeah, right there. He was awful with that. And then he went around a lot with Steele. Because Steele was supposed to have a crush on Elizabeth, George Animal Steele.
Yeah.
And so they did that whole big feud for a while, and that was fun. John said the best steel cage match ever between Slaughter and Iron Sheik. Both were completely bloodied up when Slaughter prevailed at the last moment. That wasn't the boot match, right? And Custom God liked watching Portland wrestling back in the 70s.
Hey, Custom God, how are you?
Yeah. And David said the Divas in the late 90s and early 2000s were out of control with WWF.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing now.
It's changed a lot.
The whole scene has changed. The whole wrestling thing.
I think they ruined it when they stopped pretending it was real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even if you watched it and you were like, oh, that's a load of crap, there was always in the back of your mind that little inkling wondering. Because they would never admit that it was predetermined. And because it doesn't take anything away from their ability, whether it's a predetermined match or not, they're still going out there and killing themselves, just even doing what they're doing in the ring, because they can still get injured, and often did. They often did get pretty badly injured sometimes, even though, you jump and you splash on somebody and you're fixing your body so you don't actually hurt them and stuff like that. But there's a trick to it. That's why they talk about some people being ham-fisted in the ring, and they're just really rough and hard to work with. Yeah. You heard a lot of that about the Ultimate Warrior, that he was just really a bad ring technician as far as trying not to hurt the people that you're working with. But yeah, that still beats the hell out of you, even if you're not getting physically hurt in there.
Did y'all see the Mike Tyson fight?
I didn't.
We heard stories about it. I saw something that said that they banned
Action Joe Figs.
Hey, Action Joe.
There's all kinds of stuff flying around.
They said that they banned both of them from boxing.
Johnny wants to know who remembers the blooper with Booker T. Yeah, he cussed for real by accident in the promo.
Oh.
Yeah, and then you see him like he's like, oop, like he knew, and then the next person started talking to get over it, get around it quick. Reston says craziest wrestling story was Chris Benoit. Wolverine, WWE ran a special after he passed, then pulled it when they found out. And Mickle loves the live. I saw.
No, he loved They Live.
Oh, They Live. I saw that way too young, and I've been into conspiracy theories ever since. It's crazy how many have been proven true. Yeah, it's only a conspiracy theory until it happens.
I like conspiracy theories. I like, just hearing them, and now the ones I don't jump on board with is the Bigfoots, the aliens, the Loch Ness monsters.
Yeah. All of which has faded away ever since everybody has a camera.
Yeah. But those I don't. Any UFOs, aliens, Bigfoot, Loch Ness monsters, abominable snowman. But those other types, I like them. I like hearing them. I like getting other people's thoughts and opinions about them. Those things I find interesting, and I like listening to them, and I like watching shows about it, hearing people. I remember the first time I got into conspiracy was it was back in the 80s, and they were not celebrating, but they were talking about John F. Kennedy's assassination, and I want to say it was like 25 years like from the assassination, and it was on one of those daytime talk shows, and they did set up the whole thing about the second gunman on the grassy knoll, how he got shot and fell over and all of this. And I remember hearing it, and I was fascinated from that point forward with JFK and then other conspiracies. And I like looking at them and stuff like that. I think it's fun. So I'll look at those.
Jesse the Body Ventura liked that.
He had a
show, and he got
Hey,
sick.
Marty, how are you?
Marty, makeup artist. His husband worked with The Rock on set, and he's known for not washing his hands after the bathroom. God. Wow. People on the set would literally call him Dwayne Pee-Pee Fingers. Really? Holy crap.
Maybe he was like on Seinfeld. Because you remember on Seinfeld when they were at the restaurant and Seinfeld was in the bathroom and a dude came in the bathroom and he used it, but then he didn't wash his hands.
Oh, he was the cook. Yeah. And Seinfeld's like,
he didn't wash his
How do you know he didn't wash his hands when he got in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Or like sometimes at some gas stations, in the stall, and if you go to the handicap stall, they have a sink in there sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows?
Well, in the problem is in the restaurants, there's a sign that says it says not to go back until employees have washed hands, and they never come to wash my hands, so I just don't bother. Munin says supposedly the fight between Tyson and Jake was scripted, and I heard of a lawsuit. The lawsuit, from my understanding, is over the fact that a lot of people didn't get to see the fight because of the really bad transmission. As far as it being scripted, I'm not sure. But again, what did anyone expect? It was an exhibition fight. It wasn't a real fight necessarily.
What's an exhibition fight? Johnny said the Bigfoot is real because he saw it on the $6 million
Yeah,
man.
That was Andre the Giant.
What was what's an exhibition fight?
I mean, there wasn't necessarily ever going to be a knockout or anything like that, or a TKO. They were going to.
Hey, Tuck.
Tuck is here. Boxing for points, essentially. Tippity tap for points, like a sparring match. It wasn't a real fight.
He-Man, a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, Masters of the Universe. Nerd says he loves the X-Files, or loved. Munin says if that's true about The Rock, that's nasty. And Blue Splash says, you guys have any conversations with the wrestlers at the toy shows? Not too often.
David,
no.
you talked to two of them.
I did I talked to him
For a long
while.
time. I don't know who it was.
It was
a tag team.
It was the Rockers. It was the Rockers.
Yeah, the tag team.
And they were actually supposed to come here, but then the whole COVID thing screwed that up. Mickle wanted to know if we heard of the hollow moon theory, talk about a rabbit hole, a ridiculous amount of evidence pointing to it being a hollow metallic sphere. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. Okay.
Hell Comes to Frogtown.
That is
Roddy Piper.
That's Roddy Piper. Oh, God, that's an awful film.
Is it?
It's cheesy. You might like it because it's really cheesy.
I love cheesy disaster films.
They Live is his best film.
Yeah, They Live is really good.
Yeah, that's his.
I actually bought the Mondo They Live figure.
Oh no!
What? Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Hell Comes to Frogtown. It's a post-apocalyptic film.
Mm.
I have seen it. It belongs on riff tracks. Oh my God!
We were watching one show today. It was really good. It's called Fail Safe.
It's an old film.
Yeah, I don't know when it came out. The 60s maybe?
or something. Yeah.
And
it's a good drama.
It is in a star-studded cast. Larry Hagman, John Fonda, Henry Fonda.
Henry Fonda, Sorrel Brooks. A
lot
Larry
of people,
Hagman.
Yeah, a lot of people are in it.
You recognize a lot of faces.
Mm-hmm. And it's a really good movie. It's on Amazon Prime. And the premise is the U.S. military is doing like practice runs. They're doing their patrols over Russia.
Yeah.
And the Russians jammed the radios. So then
they were testing a radio jammer.
Yeah.
And it triggered an automatic order on a bombing run by accident. And so it picks up from, it takes off from there.
Oh, wow. They said.
Yeah, he had a blood transfusion.
Really?
He was in a real bad way.
Oh, so he needed that money.
Yeah, he sure did.
Wow. Well, he got his $20 million.
Because Reston pointing out that he almost died 6 months ago in a hospital. Johnny says I've come to kick ass and chew bubble gum.
That's what Roddy Piper said.
And I'm all out of bubble gum. Mickle said NASA sent a probe to the surface and it reverberated for like 20 minutes.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. He called that the moon what? Say that again. The
hollow moon theory.
Hollow moon theory.
They sent a bigger probe. It rang for longer and louder. A lot more where that came from. Yeah. I don't know if any of that's true or not, but whatever. Hollow moon, full moon, it doesn't matter. I don't think it really makes that much of a difference.
No, none of it makes a difference because all in the end, when God cracked that sky, you done if you don't know, if you ain't on the right side. Roddy Piper real name is really?
I'm not sure.
Oh,
Robert likes Hell Comes to Frogtown. There are frog people in the movie.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am. Mickle says, ever wonder why all the impact craters on the moon only go to a certain depth? All of them, no matter how big, it's made from some of the hardest metal in the universe. Okay, is that what it is?
I don't know what depth it go to.
So it's a pinball game.
Yes.
Oh, no. Robert. Oh, no, not that.
Did you? Oh no, I haven't watched Tough Enough yet. That's a Sunday movie.
She has not seen it.
You got to watch that on Sundays.
Yeah, because Sunday is movie day.
Yeah,
we're trying to make popcorn and everything.
Yeah, we watch movies, make pop. Well, we're gonna start making popcorn. I think this week going to be the first week we're gonna make popcorn. We bought the kernels. We got a popcorn machine. We're gonna make popcorn.
Yes,
and watch movies. So I need to take this upstairs because
maybe
I got a couple movies.
You got a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap things up because we have some things to do.
Yeah.
So we'll say thank you to everybody who was able to come out and join us here today. Glad you could get into the conversation and whatever, shoot the breeze. Hope you all have a good Thanksgiving. We're not likely to be doing a Thanksgiving live stream this year.
No.
If you didn't see, again, we've got the top 10 overrated films on Open by Chance, and on the Lady Pop Hunter channel, she put up some Thanksgiving related things.
Yeah, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I'm going to be putting up some more over the next few days.
Yeah, and I've got, I do have the BC on Open by Chance, the BC Christmas special, where am I? Thanksgiving special with original commercials in it from the 70s. I'm going to try to put up the BC Christmas special. And I also have the Thanksgiving commercials up. But anyway, we'll go ahead and sign off. And,
oh, yeah, we have talked about that. We have talked about that, John. Okay, we're going to go and sign off.
Okay, so we'll see you again soon.